Leon, you know the game Total Extreme Wrestling, right? So Town's going to start a game on there.
Okay.
And I'm going to get like a regular wrestler thing. Like they have a couple databases that you can go super far back. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to make my own company of all the people that I like. Okay. And my first TV show, I'm going to open with a match. Well, I'm going to open with an Orange Cassidy promo because why wouldn't you, right? And then I'm going to have my first match is going to be Orange Cassidy versus Andre the Giant.
Oh my God!
And Orange is going to beat him in 20 seconds.
You just need to make sure that your announcers are putting over the fact that he hasn't lost in 25 years. Is he going to body slam him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's going to do a body slam and then an orange punch and then pin him with his pinky.
Here comes the Brewd. They're coming for you. No rules, no chains. They're breaking through.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Brewdcast. We came back. None of us are dead. We're all fine. As you can see, Leon has been freshly shorn. Recently lost a mask versus hair match, and just went completely.
Hey everybody! Mini me grew up.
Sure, we can go with that. I am, as always, Gal Robinson.
Vern Troyer's dead. Great actor. Not trying to make fun of him. Throwing that out there.
Okay. No, of course not. I am Gal Robinson. With us tonight is the lovable Leon Robinson. Say hi, Leon.
Hi, Leon. Wait, I just got that joke. God damn it.
This is perfect. This is a perfect reintroduction. And also with us tonight is the ineffable. I don't know what that word means. The ineffable Town Drunk. How you doing, Town?
I'm good. I don't think that's a word, but okay, let's move on.
It is a word. I just don't know what it means. I don't know if I'm using it correctly.
Well, ineffable?
Yeah, ineffable.
Okay, I'm calling you out on this one. I'm looking it up.
Okay. Isn't that the one Excalibur uses for Shivani?
He does constantly. This is how I know. I don't know what it means.
So I'm something too intense, beautiful, or sacred to be expressed in words. Yeah, okay, I'll take that. You regret that one now. You regret that one now, but I love it. So I'm running with it.
God.
We have been away for quite a bit, as some of you might know, and we're looking to expand our fan base. So we're here to reintroduce ourselves. We're going to talk about who the stuff we are. We're going to do this in 3 chunks. The first is just to introduce ourselves. You're going to give us your brewed name. Which I already did, but you're going to do it again because I asked you to. And tell us how long you've been watching wrestling, why you started watching wrestling, and then why do you still care? And you can talk about what companies you like, the wrestlers you like, the styles you like, whatever. Leon, I'm going to ask you to go first.
Which part is first? Oh.
So your name?
My brewed name is Leon Robinson. I am Gal Robinson's special little cousin.
Little. Yes. How long have you been watching wrestling, and why did you start?
God, I don't know. Since I was a little kid, I couldn't pinpoint an exact time, but as long as I can remember, it's been a part of my life off or on. I do recall going with my dad and my uncle to an AWA show over at Newman High School. Like getting to see, I was super stoked because I got to see the Baron in person.
Mm-hmm.
Broke out the claw and all that fun shit, you know. The other thing, I might have told this story on here in our previous incarnation, but the clearest, other than going to the show, the clearest, earliest memory I have is it was like 1988, I want to say it was, 88 or 89. There was a Saturday Night's Main Event, and in the main event, it was Saturday Night's Main Event, everybody's hero, you know, at that time the Hulkster was going up against the Big Boss Man. Yes, that yes. But it was during it was during the promotional run for No Holds Barred, because like before the match, Slick comes out to the ring with Zeus, and then he beats the ever living crap out of Hogan and everything, and then big old Hogan's going from underneath the whole match, getting beat up by Bossman after taking a beating from Zeus, and the big spot where Bossman's almost out of the cage and he's going to win the title. Hogan manages to get up on there, chokes Bossman through the damn cage, pulls him back up, and then superplexes him like from the top rope. Yeah, it was mind-boggling. But anyhow, that whole story, I was, I was like 6, 7 years old, so that's way too late for me to be up watching that and everything. So, but I didn't always listen, and I wanted to watch my Hulk Hogan and all that. So I was, in the hallway upstairs watching. Had a little downward angle and everything, and seeing all that. And my mom comes up to bed and catches me up there, and then may or may not have snuck back out there and got to see the main event and everything.
Sneaky.
And then I outed myself because the agreement was mom and dad would tape it for me, so we had a VCR, and then my uncle's over the next day after church, and we're sitting there watching it, and Boss Man's beating up Hogan and everything. I'm like, I bet he chokes him with his shirt. My dad's like, I thought you went to bed after your mom came upstairs and yelled at you. It's not. I wasn't a bright kid. I like to sound like I was smart and everything, but oh my god, got myself in more trouble with my mouth. I swear.
It happens.
What was the other thing? That was the earliest memory.
Why do you still care? Like what still excites you about it?
I mean, there's the whole athletic thing of it, which is what really got me into it. Like around the time that, obviously there was the whole Attitude Era thing when it was the coolest thing in the world and all that. Mm-hmm. But when I really started getting into it, when we were doing our thing, and then like when I went off to school and getting into the tapes on LimeWire and Kazaa and everything, like I really started getting into all the crazy super indie stuff, getting into all the like Japanese stuff from the 90s that I'd heard about and read about, and mm-hmm. like I really loved the physical aspect of the performance and everything. Just the insane things that these people put themselves through and the performances that they put on. And the keep me coming back thing, along with the athletic spectacle of it, is something that I said back when the Wyatt Six thing was kind of starting, mm-hmm. when Town had asked me about that, how I felt about it. And what I said then is very true about wrestling in general now. Like, I love media and art and stuff like that makes me feel shit. Like it doesn't give me a choice, whether it's a good feeling, a bad feeling, whether I'm crying, whether I'm angry, whether I'm joyous. I love when something can make me be like that.
Yeah.
And professional wrestling can really do that. Like, because, they have the traditional good versus evil thing. They have, good triumphing, all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. But they've got much better and more nuanced storytelling and shit like that. You go back to, like, the main one that comes to mind right now is when Hangman was coming out for the match for his first title win. And, God, it's fucking making me teary-eyed right now. Because the whole gimmick they had going on where, the graphics crew would put goofy shit under his name and everything.
Yes.
And then for that match, he's come, like, I had a picture of it I put on Facebook with a long-winded thing that I did then. It was, "We're so proud of you." And like, it was just that whole story and everything. Like, that's kind of, I guess, a good encapsulation of what I love about this stuff. Like, it's phenomenal in-ring stuff, but it's also very, very emotional.
Mm-hmm. All right, Town, I'm going to call on you. What's your God-given brood name?
My God-given brood name is Craven Moorhead.
Why? How long have you been watching? Why did you start? We already know your name is the Town Drunk, so we'll go with that. How long have you been watching, and why did you start?
77 years, and it was Vern Gagne wrestling a goat. I've been watching since the late 80s. My grandpa, my dad were into wrestling. They had a bunch of old wrestling magazines, and I would look at those. We're talking like 60s, 70s wrestling magazines. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing a picture of, I can't remember. I think it was like Ricky Steamboat or something when he was a kid was in one of those magazines. And it was just because I knew him now. I'm like, oh, that's Ricky Steamboat. Cool. Okay. Just that's kind of how I picked it up. You talk about like memories. You're sure you want to do this? Because you're gonna get it. Because I'm gonna go. My wife sent me a meme about the Nasty Boys, and then got like a fucking 25-minute lecture on the Nasty Boys, which I'm sure she just loved. It was a meme. She sent me a meme because I said the dogs smelled nasty, so then she put in Nasty Boys. And she was like, "Oh, he'll like this because it's wrestling." And then she was like, "Fuck." Happens a lot around here. She's got info that no one needs.
The dogs actually probably smell better than them.
That's probably true.
I don't know. Would I rather smell like dog's fart or Brian Knobs? Good point. Probably my dog's fart. Yeah.
Yeah.
No offense to Brian Knobs, but no, I got into the. Obviously, I was a little Hulkamaniac because I think we all were. That was how we got drug in.
Yeah.
But I remember 89, 90 being really into it. I remember I loved tag team wrestling when I was a kid, even though Gal hates it and says it's terrible.
Didn't say that, but okay.
She's got the Vince McMahon vibe. The one half of the
I swear to Aisha, I will punch you in the dick.
The one time, the one half of the greatest tag team in WWE hates tag team wrestling. No, but I got really into the tag teams because there was the Rockers, there was the Hart Foundation, and I remember I would watch those guys and I'd be like, shit, this is really good. Those guys are really good. Then I'd also watch like the Boss Man. I love the Boss Man. I was a huge Boss Man mark. I remember the moment you're talking about, Leon. I remember many more. I remember when he turned face on Ted DiBiase. The moment that I remember really focusing on wrestling and like becoming a fan and knowing what was going on, because like I would watch it and be like, oh, I like those guys, but I wouldn't really know what was going on. Mm-hmm. Was I was getting a haircut in the basement that we actually did WWA in because I was a little kid, many years before, because this was like 1990, I believe. And Hogan was on the Brother Love show, and he was going back and forth with Brother Love, and then Earthquake came out and attacked him and crushed his ribs. And then like the week later, Tugboat was on. God, I fucking love Tugboat too. But Tugboat was on, and he's like, "Hey, send in your cards. Give Hulk Hogan support." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And I wrote a card and sent it in. And then I got all the fucking magazines, the little catalogs of the merchandise catalogs, because that's all that was. They wanted to get our info to send merchandise catalogs.
Sure, but it's still
brilliant though. Brilliant.
It's still adorable.
But that was when I was like hooked. And I was hooked on the stupid early WWF 1990 shitty wrestling. And then my uncle Bob, who died a couple years ago, and I didn't really have a whole lot of contact with him, but he brought up a bunch of tapes of he was taping WCW Saturday Night and all the Clash of Champions. And there was a Clash of Champions where Barry Windham got hurt. So they attacked the Brainbusters. Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko attacked Barry Windham, and they smashed his hand in a car door. And they said his wrist was broke. Mm-hmm. And he actually was hurt. He had to miss some time. They brought in Ricky frickin' Steamboat to be Dustin Rhodes' partner. And it was a surprise. They had him come out wearing this dragon mask, and he pops it off. And I was like, holy shit, because I love Ricky Steamboat. And I didn't know why. I loved Ricky Steamboat because he could work. That's all it was. But Steamboat and Rhodes proceeded to have this incredible, like, 25-minute tag team match. And it was the most, like, prototypical Steamboat's babyface in peril. Heels are doing whatever they can to work him over. But it was, like, Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko and Dustin Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat. So it was, like, four of the best. And I remember I watched that match. Other Ricky Steamboat match, like a month after that, where he fought Bobby Eaton. And I was like, oh, these guys can actually wrestle. That was when it all kind of connected to me.
Sure.
And that was about the same time that WWF kind of went into the stupid cartoony bullshit of the mid 90s there, like 93 to 95. Papa Shango, Repo Man, love the Repo Man. Liked Papa Shango too, but they were bad. They were bad.
Yes.
But that like early 90s, it pretty much was my whole life. It's all I did. Which is why I can go back and just fucking give you early 90s wrestling knowledge. And my favorite wrestler is Orange Cassidy. I don't think you would have guessed that.
This is brand new information to me. The Orange Cassidy thing.
See right here, everybody, just the winged eagle on Orange Cassidy. If that happens, the world will be fine. That's all we need to do. Bring the winged eagle back. Have Orange Cassidy pin Roman Reigns in like 3 seconds. He walk in the ring, hit him with an orange punch, put a pinky on his chest, pin him, and that's that. Also, you asked about the styles, and my opinion of styles in wrestling has always been, if I'm booking a wrestling show, I want everything because I want to be able to hit everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to watch a show, and I want a terrible sports entertainment match. I want a stupid angle, but I also want an intense angle. I want a match that is technical. I want a match that is goofy and comedy. Mm-hmm. I want a match that is hard hitting. I want a match where Hangman gets a needle stuck through his lip. Like, I want all that shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess it's my turn. My God-given name, Brewd name, is Gail Robinson. Lovely cousin to Leon Robinson and tag partner to Town. I've been watching on and off my entire life, but the part in my life when I actually like probably got interested, like super interested into it, was like early, like just before the Attitude Era. So we're talking like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Like I think the interactions between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were probably some of my earliest like actually caring about wrestling. Like Attitude Era was awesome, but like the thing that got me hooked me, like, because I could have watched that and enjoyed it and whatever, but the thing that actually hooked me was, I remember our dear leader at one point in time had me over at his house, and he had tapes of ECW, and I want to say it was Barely Legal, and I believe Rob Van Dam was on it. He probably would have been, but watching Rob Van Dam wrestle, it's that the whole thing that, Leon, what you were talking about, like the athleticism of it, like seeing the theater and the athleticism of it and the story, like telling the story in the ring, because ECW didn't do what WWE did. Like WWE takes a month, 2 months, whatever, to like build up an entire story. ECW didn't do that because they couldn't. They had the pay-per-views, and they were trying to hook you with the pay-per-views, and so they told the entire story in the ring, and that was just amazing to me. And that is the thing that continues to get me excited. I will pause for a moment. What were you gonna say, Town?
Was that the first Barely Legal? Because if it was, that would have been RVD against like fucking I think it was like Lance Storm or something.
Yes, it was. So and that's the reason I still care, is that this amazing medium where you get this mix of combat sports, theater, and just intense goofiness. Like even the serious stuff is kind of goofy, like it's like, I think I talked to you about this, Town, at one point, where like you can see a match between Roderick Strong and Satnam Singh, who have completely different styles, and you could still get an excellent match out of that. You could still get an excellent story out of that. Maybe we wouldn't, but like that intrigues me. That is the thing that hooks me over and over again. The thing that I love about AEW is that they do that mix. They do the thing that you're talking about, Town, is where like you watch a pay-per-view, and each match, if they do it, like especially the last year, it's you get a spread of everything. You get the sports entertainment, you get the high-flying stuff, you get the like really dramatic stuff that you get from Hangman. Is so amazing at like he's such an amazing worker, but he's also amazing at like telling a story. But I digress. Yeah. And so I think that brings us to the next part, which is our professional wrestling experience. We were backyard wrestlers, as we said before. So let's talk about our time in WWA. That was the company. Did we ever decide like what WWA actually stands for? because I decided, but it was my headcanon. I always thought of it as the Wassa Wrestling Alliance.
No.
No?
Wassa Wrestling Association.
Wassa Wrestling Association. Okay.
That's what it was written on all the belts.
Wow.
We were going to go world. I remember I had this conversation. I don't know if you were a part of it, but there was a group of us. We had a conversation when we were making the Rainbow made the belt, and he's like, I just made a belt because I wanted to. It looked fucking cool. I put the Wassa Wrestling Association. I remember looking at that and I'm like, hey, that's better than anything else we have. Let's do that. So
let's do this. I will start in good faith. So the way that I got into WWA was when it was EWZ.
Maybe I should give a quick overview of like the WWA and what it was, and then you go into your thing. You think that would help?
Sure.
Because right now I feel I feel like we're explaining backyard wrestling, but we didn't explain what our backyard wrestling was.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Go ahead. It makes sense.
So the WWA was our group was a group of, there was really a core of like 5 of us that just kind of worked together at all times, and then we had a bunch of other people come in and work. And it was late 90s, so like everybody was into the wrestling. So we had a bunch of people come in. Basically, we booked shows. We ran a promotion out of my parents' basement / backyard.
Mm-hmm.
We did it for 5, 6, 7 years. I think 7.
Yeah.
7 or 6 or 7. And that was kind of like our outlet of professional wrestling. That was our outlet of creativity that kind of did that whole thing. And Gal was there, and she's not giving herself enough credit because she was there from the fucking beginning. She's awesome.
Was I? Yeah, I know I'm awesome.
You were.
I feel like I missed a show or two, but
you missed show 1 because no one told you. Show 2 you were at, and then you were there. That was it. You were there.
That's
like
true.
You had your
That's
moments where you missed.
Yeah.
Like everybody missed the show. You were there, but you were always there. You were always reliable.
Thank you. I loved WWA. I'm gonna skip the second question real quick because I think like the reason I kept coming back, the middle 2 questions I'm gonna skip real quick. The reason I kept coming back was because of the friendship. Like I enjoyed like hanging out with y'all, but it was also like we were creating this thing, and we were creating lore, we were creating characters, we were like doing all of this stuff. Like we were creating something from the ground up, and we were doing it in a fashion that was, at the time, like that was so incredible to me that I got to wrestle with my friends. Like I got to beat up my friends every weekend. Like that was amazing to me. And it didn't matter if I was concussed or my ankle hurt. Like there was once or twice where I was injured and I would come anyway. Like I would either try to wrestle through it, or I would do other stuff, like I would do in-ring promos, or like I would be the manager or whatever. I think when I cracked my ribs, I think that was one of the few times where like I was there, but I couldn't wrestle. That's probably not true. So anyway, to go back, I'll tell you my 2 favorite characters. No, my 3 favorite characters.
I remember your cracked ribs, and I remember the conversation that we had,
mm-hmm.
and you were like, I cannot work.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? You're like, I cracked my rib, it hurts, I can't work, da-da-da-da-da. And you're like, I'll just ref. And I remember you ref 2 matches, and you're like, I could probably take a bumper. I think I can work. And then you stopped. So it was 2 matches, and then you were like, just put me in this match. I'll give it a shot. I'll try. Because I think we had something we were trying to. We had something we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Like we had some kind of angle. I think the match I know for a fact the match that you came back in
mm-hmm.
was the Brewds versus the Jacks.
Oh, that sounds right.
So we had some dumb angle we were gonna do with the Brewd against the Jacks. And you were like, and I was like, oh, we'll just won't have it a match. We'll just turn it into a segment or something. Mm-hmm. And then after 2 matches, you're like, oh, let's just do the match. Fuck. I was like, oh, okay.
That sounds accurate.
That's pretty accurate.
So I have a soft spot for like most of my characters. I think aside from Bud, which is pre-Gal, my 2 favorite characters are Primetime, and I like Shockwave is like growing on me. Like I always thought that she was kind of a crappy, like looking back, I've always thought like she was a crappy wrestler because I thought Bud was closer to who I am. But the more that I look back at her, the more that I have a fondness for her. Like like some of the coolest shit that we did was as our main characters, and like she was my main character. And yeah, I enjoyed like the stuff that I got to do with her, because I think I focused more on the wrestling with her. Like what moves was I going to do? Like how I was bumping. Like I always bumped harder with Shockwave than I did with Bud. Like that's just how it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Town bumps were pretty few and far between.
Because we didn't want to kill ourselves doing a Brewd match. Because Brewd matches were fucking around. Okay, so we'll just go back through the thing here. Town, you've already.
I think I should go last.
You want to go last? I should
go last.
Okay, sure.
Because I'm going to probably have mine's going to be longer because I have way more input than that.
Probably.
So let Leon go next.
How about it,
Leon? If you fuck up the story of how you got here, I'm going to correct you, just for the record, because I remember.
Town remembers.
Can I actually like cut in and tell a story about Leon joining? Because I have an amazing fucking. This is one of my favorite stories of all time. Okay, Leon and I and Gal, you were there too. We were on the track team and we were throwing shot put. Town did not like track, hated it. I was in track for football, so I figured out really quickly. Hey, if I keep my grades, if I have 2 Fs the whole time, I don't have to go to track meets, right? Brilliant move. Because track, what's the worst part about track? The track meets, they suck.
Yeah.
So they had a JV track meet when I was a sophomore, so I would have been there. But instead of going there, I couldn't because I was ineligible. And the coach like gave me a lecture and then said, you're gonna come and you're gonna work out with varsity throwers. I'm like, okay, whatever, that's cool, I'll do that. And then you're gonna go and you're gonna help with the track meet. I was like, fuck, I don't want to do that, but okay. So I went to practice that day, and it was me and it was Leon. And we're throwing the shot, and we're fucking around, and we're having the time of life. So we're talking about wrestling. And then we went to the track meet, and we had to do I ran the rake, you ran the tape. I don't know if you remember that, Leon, because we had to go do it. Like it was at Horace Mann in the little throwing pit.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So you're there, you're measuring it, I'm running the rake, and we're just like fucking around. We talked about wrestling the whole time. And then because you knew we did backyard wrestling, I was like, well, do you want to come and see what it's like? And Leon was like, yeah. So Leon comes, and Gal, you and I had a conversation. I'm like, I really think he wants to do this. We got to try to get him to do it because he's so fucking tall. Because you're like 6'9", okay?
Yeah.
Promoter Town coming out,
yeah.
You know? And also you were our friends, so I was like, it'd be fucking awesome. And I remember I talked to Jensen too, because Jensen was like, Jensen's another one of our friends, sadly passed away about, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago? 6 years ago? Six.
I want to say six.
6, yeah, 6 was 2020. Right before COVID, he passed away. But he was there, and he was like, yeah, he'd be really good, da-da-da-da. So, like, everybody wants Leon, and we had this whack-ass main event. It was really fucking hot, and we put Rainville through the grinder, just through the fucking grinder. Like, he wrestled in, like, 10 different matches. I think that was the night we ran, like, a King of the King Nothing tournament, which was our rip of King of the Ring. That was the year that you won it. You won the tournament. But anyways, so Leon comes, he's there, he's talking to everybody, he's having a good time. And I'm in the main event with Rainville and 2 other guys that were just kind of there and gone. Like we were trying to get behind them both, but we really couldn't get behind them both because they weren't reliable. So we were going back on hardcore and board. And we're doing these spots, and I'm working. Rainville and I had a conversation, and we were trying to, I'm going to work one guy, you work the other guy, and we'll stay away from each other for a little bit, and then we'll come together. Because really that was kind of the feud we had. Like that was our thing.
It was a 4-way.
So
right.
It was a 4-way, but like the hardcore board, me and Rainbow were the 2 that were kind of the focal point.
Yeah.
The other 2 guys just weren't there and probably were just never going to get there, and that was fine. But he does this running leap off of a milk crate and goes for a fucking like kick or something. And midway through the air, just fucking passes out and flops onto the mat. And I remember that was when we had a roaming cameraman that would go around the ring and like do shit. And I'll never forget, I chuckled at him because he missed, and I go and I grab his arm and I fucking pick him up, and he's limp. Mm-hmm. I got his arm in my hand. I turn to the camera. I'm like, cut. So the camera cuts, and everybody's like, what? I'm like, he's out. And then, of course, because we were stupid teenagers, we all piled around him and made a big circle. Don't do that. And Jensen, my dear friend that I miss him very much, great guy, proceeds to go, do I need to give him mouth to mouth?
I remember that.
Yeah, we all remember that. And then Leon's like trying to like problem solve and do all this shit. We gotta do this, we gotta do that, da 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 da. And fucking Rainbow finally wakes up, completely unaware of what happened. No idea. He is convinced it's more dehydration than concussion. I'm not. Yeah, but we took him. We drove him home. Somebody drove his car. I gave him a ride in one of my trucks, and like we took him home. My dad talked to his mom. You came with, Leon. I don't know if you remember. We all took him home. Mm-hmm. And then I remember we went back to my house, and we were all kind of sitting there, and it was like, shit, what a crappy way to end. And I remember talking to Leon. I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't think that was gonna happen. It was just, a freak thing. Da 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 da. I'm like. And Leon's like, well, this was fun. This was fun. And I was like, well, do you want to join? Yeah, I'd love to. I thought we were done. I thought there's no way after that he's going to do this, because it was this, and that never has. The only time that ever happened. Mm-hmm. It's the only time that ever happened. But that's how Leon joined. Like I thought for sure Leon was going to be like.
On that note, Leon, why in the blue hell did you keep coming back? Especially after that, like.
Better yet, why did you join? Because after watching him fucking black, I've never ever asked you that before. After watching him black out, you were just like, oh, okay, cool, I'm in. Why?
I wanted to do it.
Perfect.
I wanted to do it. Like, I think at that point, like, it was kind of felt like to me like it could be something where maybe I could actually do it afterwards. This would be something to kind of test myself with, or something like that, to see if I could actually do that.
Yeah.
And as far as coming back, I am very, very much a creature of habit. Like, I don't know if you remember, like after that first WrestleMania that we watched at your house, it was the Austin Rock one. Like, pretty much anytime after that, there was a pay-per-view coming up. Like, we watched the pay-per-view here?
Yeah.
We watched the pay-per-view? You get the pay-per-view? You in the pay-per-view? I mean,
I got every WWF pay-per-view in the Attitude.
Pretty much, yeah.
Everyone.
I was always just like, we doing this? And that became part of my life. Was it's Saturday morning, I'm going to Bill's house. I'm going to go wrestle. Mm-hmm. Go see what we're going to do today.
Samesies.
Like, what kind of shenanigans we can get up to, what we can get out of each other in the ring, what kind of silliness we can get up to in the, in the backstage segments and everything. It was just creature of habit. It's what I do. It's comforting.
Sorry. So tell us about 2 or 3 of your...
WWA is comforting.
That's true.
That's okay.
I'm with him on that.
Okay.
And we can talk about that some other time. Tell us about 2 or 3 of your favorite characters that you played in WWA and what you liked about them.
I'm super excited for this.
I mean, first and foremost, you obviously got to go with Leon. He's one of my favorites. I think he's the first side character you guys gave me. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure. And you guys had...
You had a couple of moments where like we used you in other spots, but I think the initial idea was, how do you take this and creates? You were just so big. I think we just had you focus. There was part of that was, I don't know how to give you another character right now, and you were learning how to be that character. I think that was what kind of what I wrote.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely get that, but he was the first. I want to say my first side character that that actually stuck. Probably the first one that got a name and all that stuff. But he was also, he was put in with this established group and everything, and I got to be just a fucking goofball. Mm-hmm. I got to go in there with you guys, y'all doing, just basically trying to make each other break and make each other laugh mid-time and everything, and see if we can get the cameramen to fucking shake and everything. And I loved that shit. It was so much fun. And I was playing a character with something different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, another one of my favorites has to be Orgasmo, because, it was my main eventer. He's, as you said, my main character. And the thing of it is, I think, is something that Gal was real close to touching on when she was talking about her characters and everything. But I feel like that main character is kind of like an idealized version of ourselves in a way. And I don't know. I really like that because, we could go out there and be all angry and serious and go out and kick some ass and everything else like that. But at the same time, he'd have his moments like when we did like the RBW invasion and everything, and trying to bring everybody together and stop us from tearing each other apart and focus on something else. Then we can go back to that, kind of be a unifying force.
Yeah.
Which I liked. It felt good to me. And one you probably wouldn't think I would say, but I liked Chet Danielson, because that was that time that I was talking about earlier when I was really getting into the whole tape trade, and I was really getting into the Japanese and the strong style and all that stuff. And Chet was going to be that guy. But the thing of it was, I never really fleshed him out enough to be like that. All it was he's going to go out there and he's going to hit you hard, and that's about it. I wish I could have fleshed him out more, made him more of a complete character other than that.
I think I take a little credit for that, because I think we brought him in and we had an idea. We did not follow through with it the way we should have. I remember, I'll never forget the Chet introduction promo where Gal comes in and it's like, look, Town, because Town was the commissioner. Worst commissioner ever, but also the best.
No, best. Absolutely
best but worst. No best managing skills, no ability to like just fucking, but didn't care. Just like, yeah, sure, go do that. Gal and I had the conversation of, because we were kind of booking at that point and we were coming up with the characters. And I remember like, we should have him, if you call him by his first name, he gets fucking just mad. And so then Gal comes in for the promo. It's like, okay, Town, I got the new wrestler, but you can't call him Chet. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I got it. Don't call him Chet. That's fine. So then Gal walks out of the room, brings Chet Danielson in. And Town's like, hey, Chet, how's it going? Good to see you. Chetty, bang, bang.
Like every sentence was ended with Chet. I loved it.
But Leon's doing two things at once, because Leon's trying to act pissed, but also I broke him.
You did,
because it was classic fucking hilarious Town. But I liked Chet. I thought we could have done more with that. Is there any other characters, Leon, that stick out to you? Because I'm curious. If you don't say your best technical wrestler, I'm going to be disappointed.
I mean, wasn't that Leon?
No, that was Jeb.
Holy fuck!
That's who I thought you were going to say. Was Jeb?
He had completely. Oh my god!
Forgot about him.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Fuck yes. Oh my god, Jeb.
That Dale Earnhardt sweatshirt that was a children's small that he put on.
Dale!
I think that
Jeb. What?
I think that Jeb was before Leon.
I might have been Jeb before fucking Leon.
Yeah, we were creative.
All right, Town, it's your turn.
How did I get into WWA? It was in my parents' house.
It was your house. Yeah.
I was booking it. In all reality, I guess I envisioned it as we were going to sit here and go outside and fuck around and have a couple wrestling matches and not really do anything with it. That's what I initially thought. And when he came over, he had 47 paper belts.
Yep.
Okay. That's not an exaggeration. Gal's sitting there like 47. 47. And he was like, I remember like there was 4 of us. 5 of us with Gal, because Gal, you weren't at the first show. So it was me, Rainville, him, and then his buddy Chad, who was a Chad. But we had 4 guys, and we had 47 belts. and our dear leader was the Intercontinental Champion, the United States Champion, the Southern States Champion, the Middle States Champion, the Southwest Champion, the North. Like, he had all these belts that he made. He was into belts. It's fine. I get it. Belts are cool. And then I was the heavyweight champion. I don't know that I wanted to be the heavyweight champion, but I was just bigger than him, and I think he was like, I was making the champion. I didn't really care. And then Rainville had one belt. No, I take that back. Rainville joined that group. So it was those three against me and Gal. I was the world heavyweight champion, and Gal was the king of the ring. You had the king of the ring belt. I think that you made it was like blue construction paper with like yellow paper on it.
That was the, I don't remember what I called it, but it was like the jobber belt.
No, there was another one because the jobber belt you made out of.
I had a lightweight belt. Is that what you're thinking of? I might have had King of the Ring, but I don't think that. I don't.
You did the only outside episode we did before we went inside that summer, or that initial start. You were the King of the Ring. Because I remember I was a heavyweight, you were the King of the Ring. Those were the only two belts we had, and we're taking on these three guys who have like fucking belt around the waist, belt around each leg, belt around my calf, belt around my arms. I'm just standing here holding a bunch of paper belts. Look at how cool I am. And I was like, yeah, I hope you don't get a fucking paper cut. But needless to say, that was kind of how it started. We ran a couple EWZ shows, and they were awful, and there was no structure, and there was no nothing. And I remember I had a conversation with him, and I was like, I'm going to book because you're not booking. So I'll put the shows together. And he was, I'm the president, I'm the owner, I can do what I want. I was like, fuck you. And so I remember I put the shows together, and the first show I put together, they had like a ladder match, but we just put the belt in the tree. And I wanted him to lose because we were doing something with Scott Borden, who was Rainville's character. And he fucking, he didn't listen. He did the wrong ending because he didn't want to lose. And I remember afterwards he was like, well, it's just a mistake. It's fine. I said, why are you even asking me to fucking do anything? Fuck you. So, and that him and I kind of got off on the wrong foot there. We were off on the wrong foot numerous times before, but my house was the place where we had to wrestle. So it was kind of like, he's going to do whatever.
That man was,
but he got, he really started to abuse power that he didn't really have
in a backyard wrestling company.
Yeah, it was like he was playing politics games.
Yeah.
And it was really fucking weird. And I remember it was bad. Like, it wasn't just weird, it was bad. It was like he was elitist. He was like, the only people that can hold the world belt are me, you, and Rainville. That's what he told me. And I was like, what? Because the reality of that situation was Gal had Shockwave, and then there was another guy we had that had Chris Canyon. And I remember being like, those two characters are in a better spot. Those two characters are ready. Those two characters are built up. Why aren't we going to go with them? And like, it's backyard wrestling. Who gives a fuck? Like, what are you trying to? And I remember he was just, we fought about that all the time. Then finally he just quit. I remember he quit one day, and then he had a big thing and was just, he had this long rambling fucking AOL post to me about how he's quitting and it's not fun. And I'm like, cool. And then we just kind of ran with it. And I think that was when we actually started to get some shit going, because we started booking it. We started having a plan. Gal and I used to sit on the phone. I had a notebook, and we would write all the matches out in a notebook.
Hours, yes.
2-3 hours on the phone, just putting the shows together, and it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
And then we'd get to the show, and it'd just be a race, because like nobody would fucking kind of pull the Tony Khan with that one where I was looking ahead. But that was a blast. I think, like I said, I loved wrestling since I was a little kid. It was what I wanted to do. But that is sort of was my role in the WWA. It was at my parents' house, and I was kind of I think Gal and I really, after that point, we were the creative team. Not that we wouldn't take input from other people.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I think towards the end it became more of we had a bigger creative idea of where we were going, and then we would just throw shit together. And I think part of that happened because I think at one point we had 11 workers that would come pretty consistently for about like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then 11 turned into 7, and then 7 turned into 9, and then 9. We weren't getting the same people every time. So we started, we kind of pulled back on that a little bit, and we would make the matches. We knew where we were going, but we would make the matches day of just to see who the hell was there. Because I think that was our biggest problem. Characters is hard. Town obviously it was fun. Town was relaxing. I never had to worry about Town. Town was just go be a fucking goofball and have a good time.
Yeah.
We were all very Hardcore was my main character, but he was like 4 different characters. He started off as an insane person from an asylum that had a mop. That was fun. I enjoy that because I just could be almost Bruiser Brody-esque of just go in the ring and leave a fucking mess and beat the shit out of the person. That was always fun. Those were fun matches. That character didn't click the way I wanted, and then I moved on. And then when I came back to it, it was more of like he was actually Dear Leader got rid of him. He came back as like a hardcore jobber. I had like hardcore matches with Scott Borden where I beat the shit out of him for 25 minutes straight. I broke everything over his fucking head, and he put me in a Scorpion Deathlock, and I'd tap out. Hell of a finish move. And then Hardcore became like a less successful version of Triple H. Probably my least favorite time. Like, it was fun. Like, doing sneaky heel shit was great. But I think my most favorite version of Hardcore was the monster one I had at the end that just fucking killed people. I think Orgasmo and Hardcore, we had some fucking brawls that last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like we knew how to book monsters finally. So Hardcore's up there. Town's obviously up there. I could just keep going. Nemo.
Just one more.
Nemo was a blast.
I do like Nemo.
Nemo was Shockwave's second in command. Total idiot.
I mean, among other things, Nemo had other roles too.
He was part of our Hardy Boys ripoff.
Yeah.
Devo was another character though. Devo was good. I named him after the band, and he was supposed to be our version of Jason Voorhees. I don't know what the fuck he was. I think we should go, and I think we should discuss our favorite professional wrestling memory.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think that would be super interesting. I just talked to shitload though, so let somebody else talk.
Okay, I'll go.
Go ahead.
Because for whatever reason, when I wrote this question, when I wrote this section, this is the memory that kept popping into my brain, and I'm going to bring up the fact that I do not like tag team wrestling, and I swear to Aisha, I hear Vince again, and I will punch you in the dick through the camera. I don't, it's just not my thing. Tag team wrestling is not my thing. It's cool. I enjoy it from time to time. It is just not my thing overall. Except for DIY. DIY is the one tag team that I enjoyed immensely. And we've talked about this on the episode, on this show before, was when, like, the first time, because I think they've had breakups like 3 or 4 times on WWE. It was the first time that Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano, because we could see the cracks. Like, WWE has done this 1,000 times, right? They make up this ad hoc tag team, which is essentially what DIY was, and they have a run, and then they start, you start seeing the cracks. You start seeing that they're going to break up, and you could see it. Like, you could see that they were going to break up, but they had this match it was a pay-per-view, and the whole crowd is like getting behind them because they have just lost. And they put the little graphic on the bottom saying that the show is over, and then Tommaso Ciampa just fucking levels him. And I don't know why that moment is so emblazoned in my brain, but like, that was one of the moments that made me realize how much I enjoy both of those characters, like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I think maybe in part because I'm just sort of spitballing this, but like, I think maybe part of it was that Tommaso Ciampa was starting to come onto his own as this monster heel, but he wasn't there yet. He was still kind of being held back by Johnny Gargano. And when he finally showed that part of himself, like, I got behind him 100%, because he was so evil and such a badass. And he has that a little bit in AEW, but not as much as I remember back then.
That wasn't a moment. I would agree. That was an amazing fucking moment.
I thought so. Yes. And, like, amazing, and the matches they had after that, I think, were just, I loved them.
That feud was incredible.
They had a definite Tommy Dreamer Raven vibe, but like they like, their matches were much more enjoyable, much more athletic. Leon?
Favorite moment, probably, I guess we'll go with the pipe bomb. Because I was there. Because I was there.
Yeah.
And it was a point it was at a point in my life where I was, I guess at best, a lapsed wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew Raw was in town, and I was working down at a beach club, and just boring ass Monday, and I'm just diligently doing my job, watching and making sure everything's okay, and scrolling on Twitter, and I see Punk posts, I'm in full on what are they gonna do, fire me mode. Ninja, please don't hang up the call. Thanks, buddy. And I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I gotta go and see what he's gonna do. And get out of work, got over to the box office and managed to get, I was like second or third row off the floor for like $30 after the show had started. I was
Today
like,
that would be
let's do this.
$4,600. That ticket would be $4,600.
Approximately, yes.
Yeah.
And that's not even adjusting for inflation. It'd be worse if you adjust for that.
Thanks, TKO.
But anyhow, I got to my seat just before. That was the same time when Show and Mark Henry were feuding, and I got to my seat just a little bit before Mark put Show through the freaking wall of the cage, like right down in front of us. It was crazy to see, but yeah, like I didn't even realize that Punk had ran out till I see Cena like through a table, and then I start hearing his voice, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then, well, all hell broke loose, as we know. It was one of those, what's real, what's fake, what the fuck is going on right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just one of those seminal moments.
You're uptown.
My favorite wrestling moment is from the WWA. It is the last show we ever did when the five of us, I should say, stood in the ring and kind of had our moment. That's the moment for me. That's like peak. That because we put so much into that, and then that was it, and it was like that moment of we did this incredible thing, and now it's over. I think if I had to say a non-WWA moment, it would be the first episode of Dynamite, because it made me love wrestling again, and it brought the whole business in America back, because the WWE couldn't sit on their ass and keep doing what they were doing, and AEW was just like, fuck it, let's go. And then Mox shows up at the end, and it's like, we have some stars, we got some stuff going on. So I think that, for me, like in my mind of memories right now, that one's right there. The other one would be when Gal and I went to the AEW show in Chicago and witnessed the Hangman Swerve cage match. And then I remember they start the match, and it was hard hitting. Mm-hmm. And they brought out that fucking cinder block. And then when I think it was Swerve that got slammed on the cinder block.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Was it Swerve or Hangman?
I think Swerve got it first.
Yeah, so Swerve gets thrown on that cinder block. And I just remember I put my hands on my head, and I'm like, oh my God. And I look over at Gal, and she's just like,
didn't you get like Jedi on it or something?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So, yeah.
And then when they brought out the fucking needle.
Jesus, like
that was the whole but this was after Daniel Bryan got suffocated with a fucking bag.
Yes, yeah.
So already the whole place is like really like, what the fuck just happened? Because we spent the whole car ride home talking about that moment and whether it was good or bad. I still don't know.
I still don't know. That match was amazing to me, and I think I do believe part of it is because I was there for it. I remember two things about that match in particular in this moment as you were telling the story. The first is the number of times that I said, please stop. Please stop.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that happened a lot.
I like the whole time I was just freaking out. And the second thing I remember is after all of that shit, because Swerve has already established himself as a heel and like a monster, like he's a monster, he's evil, right? But we hadn't seen that side of Hangman quite as badly as that match, or at least I didn't remember seeing that. And I like after the match was over, he walks up the ramp and he's gonna go into the face side of the set, and he turns
the tunnel,
and he goes to the heel side, and I'm like that. Just those little tiny moments are some of the greatest things that I love about wrestling is you have these little Easter eggs, these little callbacks, and not everybody's going to get them. Like, not everybody's going to get that. But like, I watched that and I was like, yeah, you need to go through that. Like, that was the right thing to, and they cut it from the tape, which pissed me off. But, yeah.
You just hit the nail on the head though. Because I think one of the things about AEW is they do those subtle things. And it's very, a little more, they get a little more clearance and a little more leeway, whereas WWE, it's just forced.
It is
repetitive bullshit.
It is very clear.
That's the moment.
Yeah, it is very clear that the booker and the people who are behind the creative in AEW are wrestling nerds because they have these callbacks, and not just like
they care.
They care. Like they have these nerdy little callbacks that are like, some of them are like super old, like so and so sucks eggs. I don't remember what it was, but like Eddie Kingston wore a shirt that said that. I don't remember who he was against at that point.
Claudio.
Not everybody's gonna get that, especially the Claudio thing.
Claudio sucks eggs.
So this is us. Like, this is, I think that we have touched on enough in this podcast, in this reintroduction, to give people an idea of like what we appreciate about wrestling, what we love about wrestling, and a lot about our backyard wrestling past. We're gonna have to revisit, because like as y'all were talking about backyard wrestling stuff, I was like, I wanted to keep interjecting, and I'm sure, Town, you had that like 1,000 more times than I did.
Oh god, I started biting my lip. I was trying so hard. There was a few things I was like, "Urgh," but yeah,
you did a good job for the most part. So I think we're gonna call it a night. I have been Gal. This has been Leon and Town, and I don't remember what my sign off used to be. So see you later, fuckers.
The town drunk swings like a wrecking ball. Gail Robinson's fists, they could end it all. Leon and Curvin, the brothers of pain, and Darius brings thunder like a freight train.